in terms of, you and your friends. It's just something you guys do when you're together. And with mobile phones, everyone having a gaming device, you and your friends could turn any scenario where you're together at the same place into a social gaming experience. So I think, ultimately, we as a company and with what we're trying to do with Icon Arena, that's where we're headed. We're basically redefining what social gaming means and kind of bringing back those elements that I loved in the arcade when I was little, and kind of bringing back that feeling.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite video game?
Jesus, that's a really tough question to answer. I would say two of my favorite games of all time are Deus Ex, which was basically an RPG that mixed first-person shooter elements with the depth and decision-making of an RPG. But, so the gameplay factor is really cool, but what was awesome was this world that they created, this brooding, dark future that really explored a lot of the moral decisions that mankind has made in the way they progress with technology. So that's one of my favorite games of all time, and the other one would be Counter-Strike, which they just released a sequel to finally, since the first time in 9 years, I believe. Yeah, I'm really stoked about that. I actually have not bought it or downloaded it yet, just because I'm so busy right now and I know it's going to eat my life. So, yeah, if you start seeing me on Counter-Strike a lot, it's probably because things are either going really well or really poorly.
Awesome. So, what does gaming mean to you?
Gaming is like my favorite hobby. It's like the thing I look forward to doing when I don't want to do anything else. I mean, there's some times when that's just the thing I want to do. Some people want to go home at night and curl up with their significant other. Some people want to go home and put on a movie. I want to go home and, fire up some game, or I'm kicking someone's ass on the internet, or, blowing up some zombies, or, just I want to do something exciting and live these experiences that a game can create, where I'm interacting in this world that, is beyond ours, and I can forget about all my daily stresses and all that crap that I deal with all the time.
Perfect. So why don't you kind of compare, in a kind of soundbite almost, the idea of gaming as you have it or you want it on these consoles, and gaming as it is in mobile phones now?
Gaming on mobile phones for me right now is a compromise, because I know what kind of games I like to play in general. I love to play games on my PC because they have the sickest graphics and they have deep gameplay, and there's a lot of action competitive games. Those are the kind of games I like to play. Mobile games right now are being manufactured in a way, and I call it manufactured because I literally think of it more as a manufacturing than a creative process. It almost seems like, okay, let's make a game that everyone can play. Let's make a game that people can just play all the time, so you make a lot of compromises. Okay, let's just make a game that you can play on your own, single player only. So, because people aren't always connected, or blah, 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 they make excuses for designing games a certain way. I want to make a game that features birds as the main characters because, all the 4 quadrants, from little kids to old grannies, can enjoy birds. But, those aren't the kind of games I would play if it was my PC or my console. If there was Angry Birds on my console, I'd never download it. I make the compromise because that's what they have on mobile, but I shouldn't be making the compromise.
Okay, perfect. So how is Icon Arena going to change that?
Well, Icon Arena is the kind of game I want to play, so, I had to make it. And that's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's one of those things where I was basically browsing around on the App Store market, and I was like, okay, what's a game that you and I can play together? Like me and Scott are sitting there, and he's like a hardcore Apple fanboy, and I have like an Android phone, which he always makes fun of. But at the end of the day, we want to play a game together, and we can't. And, there's not even any action games out there that we could play together, even if we wanted to. So it's like, okay, well, we want to play games together on our phones that are different, and I guess the only way to do it is we gotta make it. So we're making it.
That's awesome.
Starting over. Do you want to just say the